Ayla Nakanishi, thank you for being here with us. You are a third generation CDT at Nakanishi Dental Lab, 73 years in business, started by your grandfather, taken over by your dad, and now you and Megan are co-owners of Nakanishi Dental Lab.
Yeah.
Super exciting to spend time with you here today to talk about some stories that you have, some pain and joy of the dental lab business. So let's get into a story of pain, something that you learned the hard way and have grown wiser because of it. Can't wait to
Yeah.
hear it.
When you mentioned that, I had the perfect day that I wanted to walk you through. I think anyone in the dental lab space will probably relate. It was pre-COVID, and so it was when we had like the normal trends, the end of the year was super, super busy. I feel like after COVID, that hasn't really happened, but this was before COVID. We were slammed. It was December. I at the time was running our CAD CAM department. So I was in charge of all the design work, the mills, the printers, all that fun stuff. And I had known the day before one of our mills broke. So we were pushing all of our work through one mill.
Whoa,
I think you
man,
know where this is
that's
going,
stressful. Oh,
right?
yeah, I do.
uh, so I planned it. I'm like, okay, I'm going to get up at 3. I'm going to go into the lab early, unload that mill, get it loaded back up. We're just going to keep this going, and I'm going to try to fix the other mill. So I get to the lab. It's dark. It's cold. Oh, and I'm 8 months pregnant, by the way.
Oh,
So I'm basically carrying a towel around waiting for my water to break any moment. And I get to the lab. I waddle in, and I see that the light on my mill that was the one that was working is red, which just tells me instantly it's no good. No good. Something happened. And sure enough, it ended up stopping sometime with an error during the middle of the night, did not complete all of its jobs.
hmm.
I think I put together every creative use of 4-letter words that humanly are possible.
I can feel your blood
Yeah,
pressure is rising
I'm
at the
like
moment.
anxious just telling this story again. It was the worst day possible. I'm surprised I did not go into labor that day. So I get in there. I'm like, okay, we got to figure this out. Now I've got to fix 2 mills. Um, and of course, they're 2 different brand mills. They have 2 different CAM softwares. So I am like calling around like a mad person, like, who do I talk to? And I'm getting told, oh, this is more of a CAM issue. It's not the mill. And then you call the CAM software. Oh, no, this is more of a mill issue. The back and forth. I
No
may have
ownership.
been, a little snippy, maybe a little aggressive. Was not a good day.
Hey, we're
Um,
pregnant. You
yeah,
you have
it's the
some, yeah.
hormones, right? We'll just blame the hormones. And so I'm like trying to figure this out. I think at this point we're like outsourcing cases to be milled because I have no working mill at the moment. Um, and it's just this back and forth. And funny enough, one of our employees, he's like, well, thank goodness we have a carbon printer. They don't ever break. They're great, right? And I'm like, oh, ha, ha, ha. Sure enough. Down the road later in that day, out of the corner of my eye, I see a little caution triangle on our printer. And I'm like, what is this? This is not, no, 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 no. Not today.
Not
This is not
today.
happening. And our printer stopped working. And this was the first time that I've ever seen this. And at this point, you kind of have to like laugh because I have nothing left in me. And so I'm like, okay, well, I guess I got to figure out who I call. What do I do? And I get on my phone. And as I'm looking at my phone, all of a sudden I get an email from Carbon. And they're like, hey, I see your printer stopped working. Do this one thing, just this one thing, and then give me a call. I'm like, okay, that's pretty easy. So I do the one thing, and sure enough, it fails again. And I give them a call, and they're like, okay, your service tech will be out tomorrow. Like, do you need any help? Like, he'll be there at 9 a.m. What can we do for you? But we know what the issue is. It'll be fixed in like an hour. Ooh, that was so easy. It was so easy. I mean, I'm still trying to
Tomorrow,
bill.
1 hour sounds
Yeah.
fantastic.
I'm like, "Oh my gosh." And it was in that moment actually that we signed for our second printer. And
Hmm,
and it wasn't just because the printer's the best. No, I mean, in theory, what sold the printer was the printer actually breaking because I saw customer service. And it really, after having that day of just back and forth with other companies and vendors of I'm pretty sure I cried that day. It was just I saw what it shouldn't be and what it should be, and it just really changed my outcome of, "Okay, this is what I'm looking for in a vendor." But
hmm,
beyond that, it changed, "This is what I'm looking for as a customer, and this is what my clients, our clients, should be looking for as a customer."
yeah,
And it's not just about if something breaks, but it's how we're like with communication, simple
yeah.
and clear and confident. No room for question or, I hate when I'm talking to someone that's supposed to be the expert. And I'm like, do you know what you're talking about?
Hmm,
Like, I'm never going to really fully trust that what you give me is a true answer when you're not very confident when you deliver it. So it's like
yeah,
having this experience, it just started to really shape, oh, I get it. This is what we should be striving for. And of course, Megan, my sister, she's always believed that way, but I'm a little slower to evolve, I guess. And so it really took
hmm.
this day to show me what it should look like. And so that's one of the biggest things that I learned was, okay,
So
customer
your
service.
your printer was down for a day,
Mhm,
uh, and the positive lesson here, Carbon, like they see you, they understand you, and they're gonna fix it within
mhm.
24 hours. That's pretty freaking amazing in
Yeah.
this world of dental equipment. Tell me about the mill though. How many days to resolution did that take, and how many phone calls did it take?
Yeah, it took one of the mills was probably down for about a week. The other mill, it was maybe 48 hours. A lot of phone calls, a lot of angry text messages. Maybe learned my lesson there, not to be so sharp with my tongue. Maybe definitely had to send some apology messages afterwards. But yeah, so it took a while. In fact, I mean, I've had a mill that's been down for months before we even get a resolution.
Hmm.
So yeah.
So then the takeaway here is likely the selection of a vendor partner is just as important as the equipment that the vendor is
For sure.
supplying you with.
Like, I always expect no equipment's gonna run perfect, right? There's always gonna be an issue. It's how do we fix and how do we handle that, and how does that vendor step up to support us?
Hmm.
And that's probably where my expectations are so strong, and I've been maybe spoiled by Carbon, and so I bring that to every new relationship I have with a vendor and just, "Hey, these are my expectations. Like, are we
Yeah.
gonna be a good fit? Is
Yeah.
this something you guys can do?"
So then did you learn anything through that experience that's helped you or caused you to make some strategic decisions at Nakanishi to better support your customers?
Mhm. Yeah. So a few things for me has always been after this experience, we communicate the way a doctor wants to be communicated with, how they have started to reach out. So, when I would text someone, I want them to text me back. And same with our clients. If our client texts us, we're going to text them back. Now, of course, if a conversation we better had over the phone, we could suggest a phone conversation. But I think it's really important that we fit into how our clients want to be communicated with. And sure, is that
Yep.
more work? Yeah, it's going to be a bit more work, but that's in a sense what they're paying us for. It's why we're here. And in a dental lab, uh, everyone can say quality is what we compete on, but it's kind of white noise. That's the bare minimum. Like, we better have really high quality products, but where we compete on, I think, is the customer service. And that big part of it is
100%.
communication, managing
Yeah.
expectations. I mean, and just being so easy to work with, just easy to work with. My communication with Carbon was so easy. I was not left second guessing at all. And
Hmm.
that's how I want our managers to communicate with our clients. Just easy.
So how many of your doctors have your personal cell?
You know,
Too
there's
many?
only a few. I know I've
Okay,
been very select who gets my personal cell phone number, but we do have like a company cell phone number that they can text in.
good.
So they've got that line that they can always text, but it stays on my computer, doesn't come home with me. So
That's good.
I've been,
So
a little
you're
guarded with my
reachable
personal.
via
Yeah.
text message, but it's not hitting your personal device.
Yeah.
And then your technicians inside of your lab, they also will text doctors through that
Yep.
messaging system.
Yeah, all of our managers have a direct number. They can text from it. And of sure, does that mean that once in a while they're going to get a text request for a pickup? Yeah. Is that the best use of their time? Probably not, but it's helping our customer. It's an easy
Yeah,
form of communication. It takes them 2 seconds
100%.
to forward that on. So,
That is
yeah.
super cool. I
Yeah.
love it. I really do agree that service is likely the differentiator in the dental lab business, right? It's like kind of like we're in the restaurant business where, everyone's got access to food supply. It's
Yeah.
just how are you packaging it up, delivering it, and what's the experience of
Hmm.
a dentist in interacting with Nakanishi?
Exactly. Yeah. So that day really shaped me understanding what that should look like.
Yeah, you were on the receiving end of some great service and some
Yep.
not so great service.
Yeah.
So thank you for sharing that. I think it's a really wise point in vendor selection for sure in
Yep.
the service that they provide.
Yeah.
So, what about a story of joy? Some things that are going really well that you're really proud of that you want to maintain and keep going there at Nakanishi?
Yeah, so you kind of mentioned before that we're third generation laboratory, and part of that also is that my grandfather was a certified dental technician, a CDT. My dad was a CDT, and it
Amazing.
was the best part was when I got my CDT and became kind of the third generation CDT technician in the family. So that was really important. I joke that I have 3 kids. I did not cry when I had all 3 kids, but I did cry when I became a CDT.
Oh, that puts things in a perspective there, Kayla.
Megan was like, "You can't tell that story. No one will understand." I'm like, "Oh, it's so true though." It was so meaningful to me to carry on that legacy. So,
It's a lot of work
yeah.
and a little bit of stress. There's some
Right?
hands on stuff that's timed, right? Like you only have a
Yeah.
couple hours to complete it.
Yeah, and it was at the time I took it pretty quick after I had really decided to join the lab as a technician. Um, and it was all on, like, I got my CDT in ceramics. It was all on PFMs. I'm from the world of zirconia. I mean, yes, we still do PFMs in the lab, but that's not what I learned on.
Yeah.
So I pretty much learned PFMs to take my CDT. I think I spent 2 years just studying every day, practicing. But what was really, really cool was our lab values that so much. We have about 9 CDTs on staff. Some have multiple CDTs.
That's
Our
amazing.
fixed technician, Cindy, she helped me with my CDT. She would come in on the weekends, set up like mock exams for me to practice all the hands on. I mean, she just like basically held my hand through the whole practice of the years of this with me. And it was just that support. We have a very close knit lab
Mm,
group in general, but then that group of CDTs, like we just always are. It's like this new little cool kids club. We're rallying behind each other. We're getting our CE together. The moment one of our managers gets a CDT, which we expect anyone on the phone, helping doctors, they should be a CDT. That it is a big deal. It's so exciting.
mm.
So I think that's some of the biggest joy for me is that legacy of being a third generation CDT, but also just the community it creates within
Yeah.
our own laboratory.
For sure. I'm curious if I'm a up and coming technician at Nakanishi, say I've been there a couple years, I have some talent and hunger to grow, and I say, okay, I want to become a CDT. What's the process for me to do that? Are you going to
Hmm.
let me study during working hours? Will Nakanishi help defray some of the costs? Like, give
Yeah.
me the path to become a CDT at Nakanishi Dental Lab.
Yeah. So it does depend on, like, if you're slated to be a manager, absolutely, we're gonna we're going to go above and beyond to make sure that you are getting that CDT, and we pay for it. If it's not necessarily crucial to your path and of growth and development, we might split the cost with you. But to be honest, we've always kind of paid for it. And we pay for also the CE courses. Because it's not just a one-time fee, it's yearly. You've got to pay to go to these courses, you've got to pay to
Yeah.
renew. So we cover all of that. Um, it's the only professional form of like professional designation that we have in our industry. Otherwise, you know, anyone can be a lab tech, if you will. So I think it's really important that we bring the value and stand behind that. And so we always want to show it at the lab that this is something of importance.
I think it's super smart. Great investment. I think it's
Hmm.
super, yeah, so good to invest in your people and
Yeah.
give them a path to become a CDT there. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So cool. All right. So, bonus question, because I can't help myself. So, you were telling me before that you and Megan are co owners of
Hmm.
Nakanishi Dental Lab. Congratulations. Super awesome.
Thank you.
So, I want to ask about decision making and how you and Megan make decisions, how you work through conflict in those
Hmm.
decisions. So you're sisters. I think mostly everyone knows this, but for those of you who don't know, Kayla and Megan are sisters, third generation co-owners of the lab. So talk to
Hmm.
me through just decision making and how you guys navigate those waters.
Yeah. I think family businesses, the dynamics, so I did not plan on being in the lab at all. That was actually never the goal of mine. I think I was going to be a fashion designer, an artist, or live on a farm, something along those lines.
Yeah.
And I found my way into it. And I always thought, oh, well, I'm picking the easy path. I'm picking like this is, oh, I'm picking the easy path to do this. And then to find out working with your family is not the easy path. That is that is way more challenging than anyone could imagine because you're bringing all these ideas. Like I know Megan as my older sister. She's always been like the second mom. She mothers me. She does pretty much whatever I want to do. Like she just babies me. Um and so that's how I expected, oh, going into business with my sister, that's what it's going to be like, and that's far from it. We've grown up, we're different now. And so those dynamics, trying to run a business with that can be definitely challenging. But where we found is we each have very different strengths and very different weaknesses. But when we combine them, that's when we become really, really powerful. So for us, when we're, working through a conflict or in a decision, we each know our areas of responsibility, and we have to trust the other person heavily on their area of responsibility. And with that, I know that's way more like woo woo, I guess, if you will. Um, but we have always been very successful with that. She runs more of finance. She runs more of customer service, the operations, the team, whereas I run really more lab operations. I run the technical managers, R&D, like what equipment
Mm,
we're going to invest in, what materials we're going to use. And she trusts that when I say we're going to go this way with a material or not use this material, she's like, okay, that's your area of expertise. I trust that.
yeah.
Here's what the finances look like. Can we work with it there? Great. And I trust her to, like, okay, yep, I've got this amount of money to be able to invest in technology. And I trust Megan that that is the right number. So there's definitely areas where when we stay in our lanes, it's beautiful. Where it, of course, gets messy is when we're both in each other's lanes, and that's where there
Yeah.
becomes more conflict. Um,
Yeah.
and you carry that personal outside of work. We're very, very close. So we see each other. I mean, I think we definitely spend more time with each other than we do with our spouses, right? So you kind of
I know.
take all
I
that
can relate.
outside, yeah,
Yeah.
outside relationships too into work. And sometimes that
Yeah.
spills over and gets messy. But I mean, ultimately, as long as we're staying in our lanes, the decision making
Yeah.
is really easy. And there's so much trust that is there.
Yeah.
And
It
that's
sounds
the
like you have a
yeah, being a
great
sibling.
division of authority and
Mhm.
responsibility. Um, Megan is not a CDT. So if
No.
she were to become one, maybe that would get a little more
Yep,
dangerous.
exactly, right, I'm like, "No way, stay out of my lane."
Oh, that's so
The funny
good.
thing is she probably could pass, just not the hands-on. She has so much knowledge, more than you would ever think from just being in this industry, but
It's really this is really good because in a dental lab, you are running an organization, you are running a financial statement, you are running like sales and marketing, and like there are aspects to running a larger size dental lab that require non-bench skills,
yes.
right? And as you get bigger as a lab, it's important to have some division of responsibilities and someone that's focused on these
Mhm.
other things that most of the time technicians don't love looking at P&L statements and talking to marketing people and all that kind of stuff. And so it's
Yeah.
great that she's sounds like she's doing a lot of the stuff that you're not really passionate about. And
Correct.
so you
Don't
trust
don't
her.
put me in front of an Excel sheet. That is it will be disaster. Whereas Megan, that's like her best day ever. She gets excited for the first day of the month because she's like, I get to do all my reports. I'm like, oh, that is awful.
All right, I saw this so random. There was this Christmas sweater. It's like green and like stocking knitting. And it said, "'Tis the season for an Excel spreadsheet." Had the Excel logo. I'm going to get it for you to give
Yes,
to Megan.
that is the
Yes.
perfect Megan gift for sure. Yeah,
Oh,
that's
well,
really
Kayla,
good.
anything else, any other nuggets of wisdom to share with the dental community as we wrap up?
Know your strengths and
Mm,
focus on your strengths. I think a
yeah,
lot of times we spend the time focusing on our weaknesses, but
yeah,
imagine if you just took that energy and focused it to where you're really good at, how much better you would be.
yeah.
And so
You
to
know what that
me, yeah.
requires? It requires someone being willing to say, "I'm not good at this stuff,
Mhm.
and I don't like doing this stuff."
Yeah.
Like you just said, "I'm not good at Excel. I don't like doing it Excel.
Mhm.
So let's let someone else do Excel."
Yeah.
Right? But sometimes humans struggle with admitting, "I'm good at this and I'm
Mhm.
not good at this. Let's give the category of I'm not good at to somebody else."
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
I don't think there's any shame in admitting when something is not your strong suit.
Yeah. It takes some emotional maturity, I think some wisdom, because it's really hard to grow doing everything, right? I
Yeah.
mean, those 3 to 5 man labs out there, yes, you got to wear many hats, but as you get
Mhm.
bigger, division of responsibility is important.
Yeah. For sure.
So,
For sure.
well, Kayla, thanks for being with us. Thanks for sharing your wisdom, and look forward to hanging out with you soon at one of the upcoming shows that you're coming to.
Yes, I'll see you soon, I'm sure.
NADL Vegas? Let's go.
Maybe?
Oh, come on. All right. We'll see you around. Thank you so much.